Hello, welcome to the show, Mr. Gordons.
Morning.
Good.
Morning.
Hello, everyone.
So, today we are talking about networking and mental frameworks and strategies behind effective networking. I'll give you some history of networking a little bit. Networking is evolved as a business in the US. Like we make everything perfect in a way. So we evolved as a business. Coaching has become a business, and people used to. I mean, it was always there, but now people are saying writing a book has become a business, and many things which have become business which were like natural things, somebody going up the top, now it's a business. All right, let's begin.
Okay, so here's a question that many people want to know. Why do so many people feel awkward or intimidated when networking?
Always a great question, and I get that all the time. And I'm always direct and honest. The reason why you feel awkward is because it's awkward, right? It's cut to the chase. And like Adi said, people have made it a business and they give you all the buzzwords and you should be smooth and silky. No such thing. You walk into a room, there's 50 to 100 people, and everybody's got an agenda. Some people have slick suits and slick slogans, and you're just a regular person trying to make your way in the world. So it is very awkward. I always tell people to embrace that, right? It's not natural. To have a 1 minute conversation to tell someone your life, your dreams, your hopes, your business, and what you could possibly do. So the key is to realize that it is a very unnatural situation that we're thrust into. And then once you realize that, then you take some pressure off yourself.
Adi, how would you feel that Learn Think Share can help people get rid of feeling awkward?
So great question. How we stop people from feeling awkward. I'll a little bit add to Mr. Gordon's point is that we uh, we network with people whom we can align with. You know, the social networking with just saying hi and being initially all bombastic, and those are not the principles of networking. I like that the principles of networking are three. Is number one, making genuine connections. Number two, meeting of the minds. And number three, maybe lifelong friendship or business opportunity. The three outcomes. And so coming to not being awkward, I always say that if you read my book Soul of Business, I did not. Most of the Americans did not understand my accent. Most of the Africans did not understand my accent. I had a very typical Marathi, Bombay English accent, which is half the people cannot understand. But it worked for me because people saw that this guy was not trying to sell me something, even though I was a salesman. And number two, they trusted me for my knowledge. So I think the if somebody thinks number one, we are all unique, so we will always be awkward for somebody. So number that you have to accept. Nobody can accept you. All the people cannot accept you. So we will be always awkward for somebody. And number two is that if you look at positively, that when you are awkward in a group of people, that means you are special. Number two, you are really special. You can add value because you're awkward. You're not part of the same group. Like I went to one networking event with attorneys many years back, and I was the software guy in the group of attorneys. But I was there standing, and nobody came to me. Nobody wanted to know because they didn't know me. And many people have seen me in these events is that I am the corner guy, the best, safest corner I choose and where I stand over there. But gradually, those relationships built up, and people knew that this has something different to offer. So number three, I would say, is how not to feel awkward is you need to know who you are, and if you're comfortable in your skin, you won't be awkward.
Very good points. Very good. Our next question about networking is, what would you say the one mindset tweak that can make network feel effortless?
Again, it's just springboarding on what I said, Nadi said, it's the essence of what we teach and learn things share. So I go back, like, because what we advocate is to be yourself, and I use the term "be you" for you. I tell people, whatever meeting you walk into, be yourself, and then the key to remember is, like Adi said about awkward term or whatever. You're not going to click with everybody. You're not designed to make BFS with 100 people. You're yourself, and then different people in the room will be drawn to you based on who you are. So if they want to do is talk to realtors because there's only realtors in the room, great. But there are people in that room that are realtors or doctors or lawyers that are looking for someone with a different perspective. And that could be you. You could be the sales guy. You could be the marketer. You can be the flight attendant. So remember that. Be yourself. Be genuine. Then also look at, don't go to actually take. Go to give. You meet someone. How can I help you? What can I do to help? Listen. That's the key ingredient, I think, is listening out of the gate.
6 ancient principles are there for this. I teach them in my debunking mythology course as well as Yoga Sutra course. First is giving, dadati. Sanskrit word is dadati. Then receiving. Guhyam akhyati, asking or revealing one's heart in confidence to somebody whom you can trust. And then accepting somebody's heart in confidence also. So, and then the last, so 6 principles are there here. Bhungte, and then which means that you eat first, you receive first, and then you feed others. Because most of the times we say, okay, and generally I've seen in the meetings here that when you call for a meeting, that means you're going to serve the coffee too. But if the others call for a meeting, then they serve the coffee first. So that's a general accepted principle. I want to go against that. I want to say reverse it. I would say that you go to receive the coffee first, and then you immediately offer a coffee back. And so in that way it will work, because generally the concept is, and also the most effective networking opportunities are in a neutral place, unrelated to your work. Like the professional networking events, which is done by real estate or any other groups, that is only real estate people. And that's where they can exchange leads, and I don't see that it's bad, it's good. But the real effective networking will be with your prospective client base. That is more effective. So a software guy going to a non-software industry networking meeting is far more advantageous than a software going to a software networking meeting. But like when you go with your own family or ilk, you are going to learn something more about the industry. Industry background, then you actually have a chance for gaining business. And that is what people are looking for generally.
Okay. Now, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out with networking and feels like they have nothing to offer?
Yeah, great question. And again, it continues to build upon what we're saying. You as an individual have to realize you always have something to offer. It could be a fresh perspective. It could be a new insight to a business that someone's been doing. And again, just service. You can go to an event and you could observe, and then you can, if the event planner or the person's open, you can give them insight from a new perspective. Because as Adi said, if you go to real estate events for X amount of time, people become, I wouldn't use the word jaded per se always, but they definitely have a perspective. So they see things the way they are. And so when you walk in fresh to a room, and we always welcome that. When we deal with people, we ask them, what do they think? What do they see? What do they understand? Because it's different than what we see. So to the point, you never have nothing to offer. You always have something. It could be service, it could be input, it could be listening. So again, what we're saying is going to be, stacking the deck throughout the whole process.
Okay.
I'll go in the history of a little bit this year. So networking evolved as a business because we are no longer socially homogeneous. We are all living in our bubbles. And so when you go to any event like that, and you think you don't have anything to offer, I think that's a very healthy situation actually, because now you're very open. And generally, when you go with that mindset, I think the world plays with you. The energies, the global energies play with you. We give you some idea. I've been to many events where I thought I'm out of place, and generally I feel out of place everywhere in any way. So, but when I went to those meetings, I I thought that since I don't know what I'm going to offer, that became the perfect opportunity for me to learn,
Mhm.
and that's where I gained a lot from that event.
Yeah, perfect example. I've been invited to many events through either close friends or associates that invited me, and I didn't even understand what the title meant. They were saying, exploring the depths of, business repercussions and the, ripple effect of it in the Asian market, consider like things like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I go and like I said, I go there and I gain more knowledge than I had to begin with. And so I've always been the type to go to these events where I'm not either an expert or have knowledge or no, I go as a clean slate.
Okay. All right. Continuing on, do you have any practical tips to follow up after you meet somebody new at a networking event?
The key is I always look at is networking as a touch point. People try to go in and do killer deals, when you're meeting and networking. There's just a lot going on and a lot of, I call white noise. So sure, you might be able to sign that $1 billion deal, if it just really clicks. But overall, that's just a touch point. You connect with the people that you resonate with, get their information, and then set up, some tangible meeting the next day, the next week. But be quick to follow up, quick to connect, quick to just take the next step. So establish that at the meeting. Hey, we can definitely talk about this further. Let's meet on Monday. You're in town for the next 2 days. So truly follow up is the key. Most people I deal with, I set things up with them or they just kind of disappear. And that's always interesting. It's like you wasted all your effort at the meeting.
Okay.
On the
Uh,
mental frameworks, I'll add here on mental frameworks also, because the mind operates in 5 different ways, and for every human, one is prominent, and people have to discuss, maybe out of scope for this discussion, but 5 different ways it works. It can create wrong conclusions. It can go by the written information. It can look for proofs. It can look for negative connotations, and also it can look for positive affirmations. So when mind works in 5 different ways, you have 5 to 5. So you're looking at 25 different strategies for
mm,
frameworks for every situation, and 25 different frameworks for every situation. And each framework can have 3 strategies. So we are looking at 75 different ways of tackling one problem, one issue. 75 different ways. Now, for that, you have to go. So the way the mind works and the way the intelligence works are 2 different things. It's like a hard disk versus processor,
Mhm.
and that's how it works. And so we have to combine the two, the permutation and combination, and just make it fit for you, because a human being can only operate in one mode. It's very unique. At any given point of time, we can operate in only one mode. So we can be either active or passive. So if our limitations are higher than the strategies available, so we have to prepare ourselves for every situation in such a way that we adapt, and that's how the most successful people work. Like
Mhm.
I have seen many big businesses, and if you go to the founder's history, that founder's history worked on small things, and that was his only way to work at any given point of time.
okay. All right. Now, what would you do? I mean, we all don't like these pushy people at networking events. So, how do you network without coming across as pushy or salesy?
Great question. And again, it's being yourself and being of service. The way I always do it is I talk to people I listen to them, and then I'm able to provide solutions to what maybe they're going through, business solutions, insights, and then again, it leads to a conversation. So it's not the go in, crush, kill, destroy. Of course, you have to be, aggressive in the sense of sales, but you have to, as I said, you have to adapt. Adapt on the person and ebb and flow. But just listen carefully, and then provide solutions, provide assistance, and then say we can sit down and some further, and then I have some solutions. Learn things, share can definitely help you increase your business, increase your networking, increase your productivity or your systemics. So it's just basically like we've said all along: be yourself, listen, be of service, and then your service happens to be a business proposition.
I like pushy people in any sales meetings, any groups, because that person is actually standing up for himself. And whenever I see a value and I see a good push, I learn a lot. In fact, I'll tell you, one of the sales techniques I used to tell my sales teams all the time was listen to aggressive telemarketing calls.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, nowadays is all recorded ones. So now you don't know who's the real guy, and as soon as you connect, they're offering you money and like take a loan. Generally, I receive those calls, but generally, I would advise everybody to don't ignore them if you want to be in the same profession as them, because this world lives on sales and marketing. That's
Mhm.
how it world
Mhm.
goes. If somebody pushes there, I think you should count it as a good fortune, because that guy believes in what he's selling to you. And if he's pushing that sales to you, you need to learn from him how he made those points if you want to learn.
Yeah.
If it is out of the topic, like if somebody says outrageous, like something really outrageous where which doesn't align with your sensibility, that time you can be a little going off. But generally, it's a great learning opportunity for me.
Yeah, and I think that's great, and it just indicates the essence of what we do is it's about you, the individual. Just an example that Adi and I had met, and this is a couple of years now ago. We met a gentleman at it wasn't even a networking event; it was just an event, and the gentleman was wearing flip flops, board shorts, some funky T-shirt, straggly hair, looked like he needed a shower. And so again, Adi and I open minded. We chatted him up. He's a very interested gentleman, interested in what we do, and then we casually didn't push anything. We casually said, "What do you do?" And he flips out this product that he had, and it turned out to be like $8,000 to $10,000 sunglasses. And Adi and I we're not surprised people, right? We're open minded. We literally looked at each other like, "No way." And then the guy went on to tell us about the construction and how he created the company and how he sold 5 other companies. And again, he was just casually conversing, right? So that's a sales kind of
And
tactic
watches,
there. What's that?
it watches too.
Yeah, that's right. And so, but he did declare went into high end items, and he shows us the website, and he's catering to all of the top music stars, the hip hop stars, and again, Adi and I double take looking at him to think, wow. And then we were even more impressed. But the point is that everybody has their own style, So yes, the expensive suits work, this works, that works, the loafers, But here's this guy obviously doing a whole lot. He wasn't trying to impress us with numbers. We were just having an intelligent conversation, but he was selling high end items to high end people. He had pictures with him with these celebrities, and they're wearing the glasses and the watches and hanging out. So yeah, again, what we look at getting across to people is you have to find who you are. And if you're the board short guy and you can do business, great. If you can do it on the beach, if you're the boardroom guy who needs the boardroom and the Four Seasons, that's good too. It's a little bit of everything. And the dynamics of our team, we bring different experiences from life and different philosophies, but our end goal is the same: for you to be the best person you can be and be successful in whatever you pursue.
Okay. And that brings us to our last question. What, in your opinion, is the biggest networking mistake that people make, and how do you avoid it?
Everybody has what they call their pet peeves in life and things. And my thing is I call it diarrhea of the mouth, right? Someone told me that term and I can't think of a better word. They just, as soon as you say hello, they just like they're rapid fire. And to me, again, I don't care what they're selling. I don't care if they have the next answer to sliced bread. To me, I tune them out. My brain shuts down. They might be nice people, and sometimes I find out they are. But as far as that in the networking and the sales, to impress me, to take, because again, I think I don't want to do business with them because I don't want to have to deal with that every time I talk to them. That's my thing. So that's one thing for me is just, you just don't rattle off. Again, it comes back to listen, listen, listen.
The today's networking events, if you go to, it's like a fish market, and that too a Indian fish market, which is loud, or East Asian fish market, or even Middle Eastern fish market, where everybody is loud and everybody is like just cut to the point, and they all have learned classical techniques, move from one group to another, keep an eye watch. It's like what they teach you, to one group to another, have a short sell and an ask. They all have the same pitch. BNI and many of the networking groups have done that. And Ivan Meisner has done a very good work also. I don't know whether that group is active or not. I don't know that. But the biggest pet peeve in any networking event which you can see is that not understanding the other guy where they stand. For me, the natural questions will be, I am this so and so, and please let me know what you do. Very simple questions, and that's how it begins. But if you go in a very overconfident way, hi, I am this, like a movie star, that doesn't work with many people, because most of the business, I mean, the people who have great ideas and startup founders and all these people, they are trying to validate their ideas, and they are trying to see where they can generate some business. The over aggressiveness is, I think, is the biggest pet peeve. I think we need to be very measured in our approaches, and evaluate, like think about it. And you cannot think about it unless you know the other guy. It's like, just like people give an example of relationships. If any one partner is more aggressive, the relationship falls apart. In the beginning, I'm saying. Afterwards, what happens, I don't know. But in the beginning, I'm saying the first contact has to be very soft and sophisticated.
Yeah, and along those same lines, I think the other thing is part of both of the things we said is people come off across scripted. They go to the course, they get the book, they do these seminars, and they follow that script, which is unnatural. And what I do to break scripts, because sometimes people can be genuine, have a good product, but they just got sucked into a script. I just say to them, "What do you do for fun?" And you'd be amazed to see after a first conversation, hellos, and I say that to someone, they literally short circuit because they didn't program that into their whole networking approach. So I get to see a lot of cool changes in a person, and some become real. And then some actually say, "Well, that's a really deep question. I never thought of that." And others get almost offended, like, "I'm here to do business. Why are we introducing fun?" So I truly get a unique reaction from people just by changing the script. So that's the thing I think going back to success is, if people have a script, change their script a little bit. And Adi and I do that well. I've been to a lot of meetings with Adi, and he does the same thing. It's the adaptability, because we're trying to get to know people, and we know people are going to be nervous in most cases. They're going to be a little bit awkward. That's not a problem. They're going to be focused on sell, sell, sell. They got a boss, they got a company. So all of that doesn't phase me. So if I can break through that, that's when you have true success. So just breaking the script is how I look at it.
Wonderful. One size doesn't fit all. A very good example.
True. Absolutely.
All right. So thank you all for listening, and also thank you, Gordon, for helping us out and together. So sign up at learnthingsshare.com and see what we do. Thank you.
Bye.